Yeah, what's up, kings and queens? We're back again, and as usual, we're going to the Maywa case just to see what sense can we make out of it. But now the court is not sitting, so there's this noise in the media, like mainstream media, about the anniversary, or like I don't know why they're trying to make it look like it's a celebration, but this should be a commemoration, not anniversary and stuff like that. The naming is it's a little bit off. Now, Linda Mnisi, the biased reporter from Newsroom, decided to compile a documentary. No, I want you to tell me, guys, what do you think about the documentary? Do you think it was fair and square and unbiased, or do you think it was a bit biased? Let me tell you my opinion. I think it was biased. I think it was really not inclusive in terms of the fact that the two 30%ers that were there and the lawyer, you can tell that his view is a 30% of view. And Linda Mnisi as well, he himself is a 30%. Then he decided to call one guy who we may say is on the side of the defense, Bongani from SA Infotainment. He go call just that one guy from our side. And then he said no to himself, he has covered all the bases. Do you think that was enough for him to call just one view from our side? And I think that guy Bongani made a mistake, but we take our heads off him for being recognized for this interview, even though we feel like this interview was made to drive a certain perception. I think Linda Mnisi is trying to endear himself to the public, to the masses, since the masses have already been enlightened about his position on the story. He has already taken a side. We know that. Now, this is just another step towards him trying to be a dear to the community, to the 70%ers. Because if you check this ratio, I think Atlantis came to this name because shout out to Atlantis. I think he came with this name because there's about 70 people of the rest of the community who support the defense, who think that those people who are in the dock are the wrong suspect. And there's about 30% of people who really feel like the state is on a tight case, like who at this point is still thinking that the state has a tight case. You can tell by the way these people articulate their reasons. These 30%ers, especially these the TikTokers, they'll be telling you things, but they be skipping over the things that they know negates the state's case. They skip over that. Even that guy who was on that documentary from the legal side, he was talking about if the state, if you can appreciate the difficulty that the state has to face when compiling a case like this, compiling evidence in a case like this, and then for them to be able to have suspects there. If we can appreciate that, we can try to understand. We can maybe understand why it is. Maybe he's trying to say that. I think that's what he's trying to say. Maybe we can be persuaded to think like he's thinking. It's not going to happen like that because up to so far, according to me, all the evidence that have been brought by the state has been either dubious, questionable, cooked, or suspicion that it was cooked, or even fabricated, like just made up. Now, the mistake that Bongani made was to say that the DNA results were inconclusive. That is the statement that was made by Rata after the DNA expert himself said the results excluded those guys, excluded them. They took them out. That nothing. There's nothing there. So this inconclusive thing will lead these 30%ers to think that they really have a case when they know. or what's happening during the time of the DNA experts testimony. Rata is the one who was trying to confuse this guy. Now, tell me what you think about this documentary that is doing rounds on social media, and then tell me what you think about the standard of journalism in that newsroom. In fact, especially that guy, because Linda Mnisi, you know, always is giving us a twisted view of the events that took place in court. Always. You know what? I'm going to start marking the things as soon as these weeks elapse. After these, the future proceedings, what I'll be doing, I'll be going to that channel. After the events, during the day, I know during the day they will be at court. And then after around 7, he will be compiling his report. And then I'm going to show you how biased he is when he is not mentioning the faults of the state. He always mentions the faults of the defense. He's always quick to say that. I always quick to say the defense said, and this guy said they were not in Joburg around that time, and the tickets from the traffic departments revealed that they were here, the phone calls, what, blah, blah. But they come short of saying these guys were at the crime scene at the time when the crime was committed. They come short of saying that. They can't. Because we know what Pinky's records were saying about the whereabouts of accused number 2, accused number 3, accused number 4, 5 during the commission of this crime. We know, like it was revealed. And it was revealed that that link that was mentioned by, starting from staying to host to all the legal analysts, the phone analysts, data analysts from the state, that link that was made up between Kelly and accused number 5, we know it was just a made up link. We know it was fabricated. It was revealed after Pinky came to testify. Now, Linda Mnisi is just doing this documentary just to endear himself to the public. That legal analyst on there is saying we should appreciate, if we can appreciate the difficulty that the case has to come across compiling this case or evidence like this, in a case like this, we can appreciate, like he's trying to say us, we will eventually be there, we'll eventually be persuaded to be the people who are 30%. We are not. Linda Mnisi is biased, we know that. Every time he reports on this case, he just highlights the winning points of the states, what he thinks are the winning points of the state. He even highlights those misconceptions that the state has, those misaligned truths that the state has. He's always out there spewing them, preaching them to us. Listen, I can be a commentator. I can be someone who's standing on the outside and give my view. You are the journalist. You can't fucking take a side. No, you can't. You have to stay on the fair side. Fair side, in the middle. This is what's happening in this side. This is what's happening in this side. We will make up our minds, the people who are watching. Not you try to convince us this is the truth. The truth that we are looking at is not. The truth that you come up with is the one. That's not how it happens. Let me not take too much of your time. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that when we drop more content like this, you are in the loop. Tell us what you think about this very biased documentary.